Power it on! Yeah! Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever you are. Thank you for watching this video. Oh man, today I'm going to be telling you which cryptocurrency I am going heavy on. And if you want to, you can do it yourself, but you got to do your own research. But I'm joined here with Mr. M, and guess what? Crypto Kids in the house.
What's up, Ankh? How you doing?
All good, all good. 5 by 5. How about
Staying
you, Mr.
alive.
M?
I'm doing great, man. I have a guest in the studio. We've been drinking tea and
It's
eating
been awesome.
cashews, making content. So now live with you, Davincij. Life is incredible.
It's peak right now.
Man, yes. This crypto space is going to be an epic one for the new bull market. I can feel it. I'm sure you feel it with this. We've hit the all-time high for Bitcoin before the halving. So it's a clear feeling, right? Bitcoin's rubbing you the right way.
Oh man.
Exactly. Incredible.
And so we're going to see Bitcoin do something absolutely incredible that it's never done before. It's already done it, but I think it's going to do another one that's unbelievable because we saw it go below its all-time high, right? And that was unprecedented for Bitcoin. Now we're above its all-time high before the halving. Another unprecedented situation. And with the ETF, I think we might see additional absolutely incredible move with Bitcoin. What do you think, guys?
I'm bullish. And by the way, we have over 1,000 people watching. You guys are absolutely amazing.
Nice.
I'm trying to, the chat is going crazy, so bear with me. I'm putting on screen as many comments as I can. But yeah, I'm bullish. We were discussing it earlier. We are trying to be not too bullish.
Not too bullish. Yeah, but I mean, as Davincij said, the sentiment is clearly flipping. There's too much good stuff going on. Personally, though, I still think Bitcoin does have a momentum left in it to keep rising. But all of that we'll discuss together. I have my TA. I know Davincij has his TA as well. So I think it's going to be an exciting show.
Definitely, definitely. So make sure you stay all the way to the end, right? You don't want to miss the call that I am going to be making, and also, you want to check out the news and find out what's the best investment to make. And do you know what it is? Do you know what? Which out of all the cryptos out there, which one would be the best investment?
Personally, Bitcoin, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. Personally, Bitcoin. How about you, Mr. M? Which is the best?
I have a different opinion. I would say Satoshi's. How about that?
So same, little different.
Same. Not different.
Exactly. By the way, I stole this joke from Davincij himself because he made a video once that he made me watch. It worked incredibly well. It was on Instagram. It was like, guys, I found the next token, the next Bitcoin, and in the end, it's Satoshi. And I'm like, oh, damn it. Yeah, you got me.
It was on TikTok, actually. That was
or Instagram, TikTok, yeah. And
Guys,
I actually
I
watched
don't
the
know
old thing.
how you live through a 50-year-old man's terrible sense of humor. I feel sorry for you guys in the chat. I mean, crazy stuff.
Hey, I'm not that far. I'm not that far off. So if you want to stay in the studio, be nice.
Oh no.
Alrighty then. Yes, don't worry about the kid, man. He's been hanging with me since 14, giving me the digs, right? Because I'm 50.
and look, he's jealous that I'm so young, and he's doing the same. So it's a two-way thing, guys. Don't fall for him. He's playing victim here.
Oh boy. Okay, can we switch to my screen and let's see what my 50-year-old has done? 50 years in the service of a life here. Oh, look at that. 580,000 views. Look at that.
I mean,
Followers.
you better, dude. Like, it's been like you've been here for 5 decades. You must have done, accumulated at least that many people, right? Otherwise, it would have been a waste. So.
Oh man, well, thank you guys all for following me here on Instagram. I really appreciate you guys following me. Yeah, it's about 2.2 million accounts have been reached with this account. I can't believe it. it's it's I'm just shocked by it. It's just amazing. Thank you all for
Congrats,
following
dude.
me.
Yeah, incredible. And by the way,
Also, my DJ15 token has been pumping. It's moving really fast, and I appreciate everybody who's supported the DJ15 token, who's purchased the DVA15 token. Thank you very much. Okay, well, we've done a gold versus Bitcoin show, and if you missed it, boy, oh boy, did you watch that, Crypto Kid?
Yes, I did. I mean, it was incredible, and I really liked that you were following Peter for a long time, even before Bitcoin was created. So to me, it looked like two legends. And I am saying Peter is also a legend in his own field. Yes, he has strong views, but I think it was beautiful. If you've not watched it, you're missing out. If you're at work and you need something to listen to in the background, or you have some extra time, this is the thing to watch. So definitely go ahead and check it out.
Definitely.
yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, so I want to go over the FUD train, right? Before we get into Bitcoin.
Oh boy.
Like that.
Oh boy.
Bitcoin. You think Bitcoin? We all know that Bitcoin's going higher, and whenever there's a saying, "Show me a new high, and I'll show you a buy," right? And that's absolutely true. And how much is the media has been saying, get out of big, more dangerous than nukes, Bitcoin. How big, how big crypto villain helped fuel the Bitcoin surge? Yes, that's right. It was 100% villains, right?
I mean, actually, they're not too wrong. I mean, if they're referring to BlackRock here, then
100% if they said that. They said that in the article, but I don't think they did. Bitcoin's Satoshi Nakamoto have a dead man switch? Oh my God.
people just don't get it, do they, Da Vinci?
No, it is just scaring people here in North America. You notice you guys did the same search in Dubai. You didn't get any of these, right?
No.
You did a search on crypto.
Yeah.
And none of this showed up. But here in North America, in the land of the free, that's now a joke, of course, when you compare it to Dubai. They're saying, Bitcoin's Black Swan event, how the return of Satoshi could pose a $75 billion threat.
Oh boy.
Oh my gosh. I can go on for hours about this. I know exactly what they're talking
Yeah.
about. But he left it there as a prize money for anyone who can crack the system. So if you can crack the system, you can get $75 billion right now.
Wait, actually, Da Vinci, I do have a question to you about this, if that's okay.
go
So
ahead.
Satoshi has 1 million Bitcoin in his wallet, right? He doesn't.
No, he doesn't. Because he would have done the exact same thing I would have done. He would have created a whole bunch of Bitcoin that he lost the keys, threw away the keys for, in order to see if anyone could take it.
Okay, makes sense.
So
okay.
the reason why you want to do that is because to prove that your system's working properly. And if it's not working properly, someone would take it and then spend it.
And
Right?
the
Because it's
million
not moving.
the million Bitcoin mark that's been selected specifically, like have he done it less amount of Bitcoin or more?
I mean, he could have done less, right? But I would have done the same thing. I would have done some crazy amount, right?
Okay, makes sense.
Because because you know what, you can make a whole bunch more, and it doesn't matter at that point because it's all free, right? And nobody cares about it, right? At that time, so he's just deleting it and seeing what happens,
Wow.
and then just leaving it, right?
Yeah, so he basically said, look, there's 1 million Bitcoins worth of prize money, and as time continues, the incentive of hacking into this wallet increases. And now that Bitcoin is trading at, what, $70,000, nobody's been able to do it so far. And like you said, I think this proves Bitcoin's stability rather than creating FUD about it, right? So this should be bullish news rather than bearish news.
Yeah, it is very bullish. Now, keep in mind, he used what's it called? He used SHA-256 twice on the what's it called? The public key, which was a mistake, which he didn't know, and I would have made the same mistake. Is that what he did? Is he created 2 ways to find his public key, which was still unlikely. It was just that's what he did, right? What he
And
did
still people can't find it.
exactly, yeah,
Makes sense.
So it is not so bad. I mean, because like the odds of you reversing SHA 256 is very, very low. Anyways, JP Morgan. When I say very low, I mean like you have to choose one star, one atom out of all the atoms in the universe.
Oh my!
Get that right.
So quantum computers, even quantum computing can't do it. That's
So
crazy.
if you can choose an atom anywhere in the universe, right, Mr. M, and let somebody else guess which atom that is.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reading the chat. Some
Crazy
people are
stuff.
saying the volume is low. Is it any better now, guys? How's the volume now? Because some people are saying your volume is quiet. So let me know in the chat. I've
Switch mics. What do you guys think?
touched some buttons. It should be okay now. Now I think.
Yeah, because I can hear it fine.
Yeah, we have you fine in the headphones, but some people are saying it wasn't as good as our microphone. So let me know, guys, in the chat if the volume now is okay. By the way, we have 2,390 people
Incredible.
watching.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, maybe you should have me on more. I think.
It's the crypto kid effect.
Yeah, exactly. You definitely did broaden the crowd here. Thank you very much, Crypto Kid.
No worries, dude. It's an honor.
By the way, his real name is F.A. Did I dox you?
That's fine, man. I've
Okay,
got
thank
a
you, Martin.
public
Martin says
LinkedIn.
volume is okay.
That's
Shambo,
okay.
all good. Okay, the volume seems to be nice. Thank you guys so much. Okay, good. So the volume is good.
Okay. So, anyways, Bitcoin surge could raise concern at the Fed. Rate cut might be delayed.
Oh, wow.
Since when did Bitcoin become an effective currency?
That's strange.
Right? That is strange.
Look, but I mean, it's evolved over time. Like Bitcoin was this thing that nobody cared about and could in no way influence macroeconomic decisions. But suddenly, J.P. Morgan is scared that I don't know. It's a bit interesting here. I don't know what you think about it, Davincij.
I don't know. We have to read the article, and we're not reading this because we have a lot of other news to go over and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, the links of all these articles are going to be in the description. My editor is going to place them there, so make sure you check that out later on after this show is done. Okay, and also, if you're interested in buying Bitcoin, you can head over to coinw.davincij15.com. Links are in the description below for some bonuses. Also, we also have a private group. For anyone who created an account with my link, that group gets, signals, right? Trade signals from some great traders and in the group, and also help on the website. So if you have difficulty buying crypto or something like that, you're going to have somebody hand-holding you inside that Telegram group. Okay. Let's move on to what the news that Crypto Kid has brought for us. What do you brought for us? Can you bring some interesting news for us, guy?
Would you like to go through price first, or would you like to go through news? Because Bitcoin is hovering at $70,000.
All right, let's go. Well, we were already in the news, but okay, fine. We can go through price.
Okay, up to you.
So
but do stay tuned for the news, because I think if we link the TA to the news, it's going to be very much interesting. But I'll try and keep it as short and snappy as possible.
I have your screen on.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
So here we can see that Bitcoin is clearly hovering at $70,000. The amazing thing with the Bitcoin spot ETFs is that the weekend is now much, much more chill. So I personally feel very happy that I got my weekends back, because with Bitcoin, well, it's a very liquid market. It's on 24/7. But now that the ETFs have much more influence over the market, we do usually have some sort of calmness over the weekend. But regardless, today Bitcoin pumped from the $68,000 level back towards 69.9. And this shows to me that going into tomorrow, when the New York Stock Exchange opens, Bitcoin could potentially have a larger move towards the upside. Now, what I've been sharing with my community, I've personally been long since $43,000. So if I zoom out a little bit here, we had an awesome inverse head and shoulders pattern back in January. And Bitcoin broke that at 43.3K, had a beautiful run up created a bull flag where I entered again and then created another bullish pennant, which also broke towards the upside. So what this is showing me is that Bitcoin clearly, now that we're in a bullish trend, Bitcoin is looking bullish on the macro. All of these patterns tend to break towards the upside because, well, that's what happens in a bullish trend. And recently we had an inverse head and shoulders pattern forming, which has a target of $74,000. But this is the thing, right? So Davincij, last time Bitcoin came to the all-time high, which was on Tuesday, we broke it at 69.1K. We had a huge reversal of, I think it was 15%. So let's see here. Yeah, it's been like 14.3%. And when Bitcoin hit $70,000, we also saw another reversal, not as big. This was 5.3%. And to me, it looks like people, particularly a couple of whales, are selling when Bitcoin reaches the all-time high. But we can see that the losses generated after hitting this level is diminishing. So I think if Bitcoin breaks the psychological barrier of $70,000, to me, I think it would be an easy target for us to reach 74.1K, supported by this inverse head and shoulders pattern. But I do need to say, if Bitcoin breaks above the all-time high once again, we would be entering into uncharted territory. So whenever Bitcoin breaks an all-time high, remember, we cannot go back in price history and say this is the level of resistance we should be looking for. Maybe we can reverse here, etc. Price action doesn't apply when we hit new all-time highs. So there's only very little things that we can look into. Now we need to focus, in my opinion, more on fundamental analysis and macroeconomics to give an indication of how far Bitcoin can rally. We don't have new resistance levels anymore, but what we can see from the previous cycles on the monthly time frame is that whenever Bitcoin breaks above the monthly candle close of the previous all-time high, we never ever test it again. So if Bitcoin closes this candle above the previous all-time high, which is going to be happening in 21 days and 10 hours, then it's possible that we never ever see a $69,000 Bitcoin again. But do keep in mind, whenever we come up towards the halving, Bitcoin tends to have a 20, 30, 35% correction. I think the correction that we're going to be seeing with the halving is perhaps going to be less, because now that we have buying pressure coming in from the ETFs, on average around $600 million, I think the downside risk that we're going to be getting on Bitcoin in the future is going to be much more minimized than what we see in the past. So that's how we differentiate ourselves from this halving to previous cycles, because it is different. We actually have buying pressure. But as a rule of thumb, right, Bitcoin, we're going to be getting into this soon, so stay tuned for that. Bitcoin is still in the parabola. And in every single cycle, we do form a parabola that continues pumping to astronomical numbers. And right now, we've surpassed the third base. So whenever Bitcoin surpasses the third base, we usually tend to double in price over the next couple of weeks. And the target for that is sitting at $84,000. So until 84, 85K, I think Bitcoin still has that momentum within to continue pumping. But as soon as we approach the $90,000 levels, I think it may be a time to be looking into perhaps taking some profits off of the table, as now we've gone up too far too fast. And what you can see is whenever this parabola is broken, Bitcoin tends to have a sharp downside return retracement. So that's what I'm looking at. But regardless, I think if you want to be entering into positions, which you can do so over on Davincij's affiliate links and links in the description below, that's where he likes to trade Bitcoin. Then what I'd be looking to do is either spot buying Bitcoin at this point in time, and of course nothing in this stream is financial advice, just my personal takes, either spot buying Bitcoin and continuing to DCA, which is the route to go according to different factors. Like for example, Davincij had access to the Bloomberg terminal, which actually back tests every single indicator oscillator on Bitcoin. And what it shows is that buying and holding Bitcoin has been the most profitable thing to do, no matter what time frame you were on. So I would continue to DCA personally, and if you want to jump into a long position, if you do have that FOMO in you, maybe a very low leverage trade. But Davincij, that's my take on Bitcoin. I think as gold continues to pump, the stock market continues to pump, I think it will be reflected on the price of Bitcoin too. But yeah, that's my take.
Nice.
Yeah, that's an interesting number that you chose for where you might see a reversal. If you did a Fibonacci retracement, I can't do one right now because I can't clearly see my screen. But if you did a Fibonacci retracement from the lows,
let me do it for you.
Starting from the 17,000-ish area,
Mm-hmm.
all the way up to the 69,000, right? And you do a Fibonacci. That's a Fibonacci extension,
Mm-hmm.
right? there, that extension brings you all the way up to almost 100K, like just under 100K, like 98,000. So that's probably where we're going to see Bitcoin, hit, because one, we have the big fat round number, which
Exactly.
everybody loves, right? And then of course, the Fibonacci retracement at that level, and then we might be pumping into that level into the halving. So you have a triple whammy there, right? If you reverse that
I don't know why this is
extension
not
there.
working, but yeah, that's
Just
what it is.
draw the Fibonacci levels
So we got $69,000. So let's put it at
around
69.
there, and then just reverse that. Hit reverse.
Hit reverse.
Click on the
Settings. Okay.
settings. Go to settings of that, and then reverse. There's right below there is reverse in the bottom.
At the bottom.
At
There
the
it is.
bottom of the screen, there's reverse.
Okay,
and there you
perfect.
go. And then scroll up,
Mm-hmm.
and that's 1.618. Where's the 1. Do you have 1.618
There it is.
on
Yes,
there?
$102,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, you took it to the wrong top. It should have been like the previous top,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I put
That's
it
how
to
you-
69.2. Yeah, so it's like around $100,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there it is, right? I would start taking profits, anything over 95,000, because it's probably going to be a big retracement at that level.
Wow.
And Bitcoin's used to doing 20% or more retracement, so you can expect an 80, it dropped to 80,000 or more, even back to 60. 60,000 is not out of the question, because a 40% retracement in Bitcoin is not out of the question.
Davincij, I have a question for you. Well, first of all, guys, we have 3,600 people watching. You are
Unbelievable.
the best. Thank you so much for tuning in on a Sunday. Davincij, I have a couple of questions for you. So first of all, this is the first time ever we've gone over the all-time high prior to the halving. It never happened before. So, and what we've seen in the past, more or less, is after the halving, we go in between 3 and 4 times. Like that's where the top leaves, more or less.
I can show you the chart as well.
Is it make you, thank you, is it make you more bullish, Davincij, the fact that we have gone over the all-time high prior to the halving? I mean, are you taking this as a, oh my God, we're going higher, faster, or are you worried that we might finish the petrol?
You know what? Honestly, this is a good sign, of course, for Bitcoin, because we have serious buyers coming in, heavy hitters. These are people who, if they could have bought during the earlier times, they would have, right? But now this is the only time they can buy, and so they're going to be bidding up the price heavily, right? Like if it was an IPO, basically, where they're just trying to get in under the radar on this IPO. And so that's why we're seeing price discovery of an epic scale. And this could get out of hand quickly, because the day will come, right? I don't think this is the right time for it, but there will be a day when Bitcoin is in the biggest bubble we've ever seen in the history of mankind. And I want you to understand what that would mean. It would most likely mean that one Bitcoin will not only buy you like a mansion on the Palm Island, right? For example, which I mean, if you got one for 10 million and you got it at a steal, right? I'm talking like an A380, right?
Which is 400 million.
Exactly. So when it's super overpriced, and I'm saying, and it's may not be like $400 million in dollars, because the A380 could come down heavily, right, in price because like everybody's moving their money out of these things and out of everywhere, right, and it will suck wealth from everywhere, like a big sieve, and then you could see, because everybody will be afraid. Well, wait a second here, it's clear that this is going to be money, because there's no other asset that can be divisible, absolutely fixed, right? Fungible, meaning that I know that there's no way that all of them are the same. They can't be like saying, well, that one's bad and this one's good, this one's bigger, this one's worth more. No, they're all the same. You know exactly how much wealth you have, is portable, meaning I can move it to anywhere in the world and no one can say, wait a second, what are you doing there with all that money? I mean, these are key factors that once you understand, once you go, yeah, I should get some of that. Right? You know what I mean? It's just like, can you imagine when there's a large number of people who comprehends that in their head?
Yeah.
It is going to be bigger than the tulip bubble, because I want you to understand, in the tulip bubble, one tulip at the high could have been sold for like a whole house,
What?
an average size house. Yeah,
When was
I know
this?
it was something that can be grown.
What?
Yeah, the
I
tulip
know. It
bubble.
went for if you Google it, and the highest price was a price of a house.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Which year was
Something
this?
can be grown. Yes, it was unbelievable
Crazy.
because it was difficult to grow and it was very unique at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but it could still be grown.
Yeah, there are seeds you can buy, you know.
So yeah, we're going to see something like that, where now we have an asset that can't be expanded because stocks can be expanded, like the South Sea bubble. I don't know if you know about that. The South Sea bubble was the second biggest bubble that was ever in history, where the South Sea Shipping Company owned everything basically, and then they just issued too much stock and then it collapsed, right? So all of that can't happen to Bitcoin, right? You can't expand the supply, causing collapse of the value. So people are going to be saying that, well, wait a second here, it's still going to go up, all the way up to 400. Let's just say the price of an A380, and I'm saying a price of a value of an A380 because I don't want to say dollar price, because we don't know what the price of that plane will be then.
Yeah, and this is a very good chart for it, by the way.
For an A380.
No, so this is Bitcoin against the Egyptian pound, and for those of you that don't know, the Egyptian pound had a huge devaluation last week, I think by approximately 40%. And what we're talking about here is the devaluation of potentially the US dollar because, well, first of all, the world moves in cycles. So there's different world orders. And eventually, when we switch over into a different world order, then the United States dollar, it will lose value. And there's a lot of economical data that we will perhaps go through in today's stream as well, but it's not looking too great from my perspective for both the United States economy and for the Dixie, which looks at the value of the US dollar. And if we compare Bitcoin, for example, to the Egyptian pound, which saw a devaluation, well, we've just had a huge God candle go up towards the upside. And if we look at the fundamentals of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is what we want to make it a store of wealth. That's what its goal should be, and perhaps a currency, a medium of exchange at the same time. And what's happening in a lot of countries, in a lot of hyperinflationary countries, is that including Egypt, we see Venezuela, we see Myanmar, even Turkey. People are switching into Bitcoin to hedge themselves against the inflation that they're seeing in the country. Because, for example, in Egypt, what's going on is the central bank doesn't have enough dollars. So if an Egyptian local wants to hedge themselves against the inflation, then what do? Or the devaluation of their currency? They need to swap it with the reserve currency of the world, which is the United States dollar. But they can't do that because the central bank doesn't have dollars for everyone. And that's why, to hedge themselves, they either need to buy gold, silver, or now Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is a much, much, much more easier asset to purchase and store compared to gold and silver because, first of all, you need protection. You need to protect your house. You need to or give it to the bank and trust the bank with it and pay for insurance and whatnot. With Bitcoin, you can take it anywhere in the world that you want to take it, and to store it, it's incredibly inexpensive. So that's why we're seeing the value of Bitcoin against the Egyptian pound skyrocketing. And the same thing could happen to Bitcoin very soon, right? Maybe not very, very soon, depends on your relative scale. Like, for example, if you're Davincij, then maybe it's over. Maybe your kids are going to see that. But for example, in my relative scale...
Oh my God! Damn, dude!
So, Davincij, maybe you should take some
Crypto is
profits
cutting deep.
at like 90K because, like, dude, like you're old, right? So you need to sell and enjoy, right? So maybe you should sell and enjoy some. But for all of the youngsters,
maybe. But you know what? I want to say hi, shout out to Bitcoin Trini. Dude, that's not how you say what's going on in Trinidad. You say, what a guan?
Amazing.
Oh, damn.
but yeah, I mean, so what we're saying here is what Davincij is saying with one Bitcoin potentially equaling $10 million, which is around what it costs to buy a villa on the Palm, is if the value of the United States dollar continues to decrease, then Bitcoin measured against the United States dollar, well, we could have the same huge God candle that we saw against the Egyptian pound with Bitcoin. If you want a time frame on this, well, personally, I'd be looking at 5 to 10 years. Of course, this is something that is super hard to predict because it relies on a lot of external factors. But if you do have the time to be buying Bitcoin and accumulating Bitcoin, I posted a tweet 2 days ago. I said, don't buy Bitcoin for you, buy it for your kids, because it's going to save your kids from possibly a very impoverished time that we may see in the upcoming years and the upcoming decades. Therefore, I think Bitcoin, now that it's classified by the SEC officially as a commodity and as a hedge against inflation, I think Bitcoin will do very, very well. You just need to keep on holding.
You should know this, Crypto Key, and you know.
I think you should stop using. Sorry. I think you should stop using the Dixie, right?
Really?
Do you know why?
Okay.
Because the Dixie is not a measurement of the value of the dollar against real value. It's against
Different
other
currencies. Yeah, correct.
So, since the other currencies, right, are just fiat floating nothingness, right? You're measuring, so they can basically trick you by using currency swaps, right, to hold themselves up against each other. So, for example, so if they drop too much, if they increase in value too much against the yen and the euro, right, the yen and the euro can do a currency swap to help prop it all up.
Makes sense.
So that they even out.
Yeah.
Right?
So what do you
So they
what do you recommend using instead? Because what you're saying is completely right.
Right. So what you do is the commodities index.
Okay. What's the ticker for that?
I'm not sure, but there's a commodities index.
I'll note it
We
down.
Google do a search on that. If you use the commodity index, that would make the most sense. Unfortunately, the commodities index is very, very managed as well through the CRIMEX, right? Basically, anyone can create a commodity promise to pay that commodity, but not actually fulfill that commodity. So
Oh, boy.
it's better than the index, the Dixie, but the problem is, right? They can end up like manipulating that as well, because they can now produce a contract promising the commodity, right? That doesn't exist,
Oh man.
and thus managing the price a little bit. So that's a little bit of a problem, but it's better than the Dixie. It's not a whole lot better, but better.
But better. Makes a lot of sense. And you know,
Because they can't they can't manipulate they can only manipulate the commodities index so much, because then people will go, well, wait a second, I can't get the commodity and I need that, right?
makes sense. So they do that with a lot of futures contracts and options, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. And by the way, there was someone in the comments that linking it to commodities. He was saying that, hold on a second, you can buy gold online very easily. Therefore, your argument is not convincing. But the issue here is the amount of leveraged gold to actual physical gold. The ratio is between, I think it was 11 trillion to 250 trillion. So $250 trillion worth of gold. I mean, it doesn't sound right, but this was what I looked into.
No, there's only 12 trillion, 10 to 12 trillion in gold.
Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't sound, I think there's something wrong with that data. However, what the reality is that there is a huge difference between actual gold that exists in the world compared to paper gold that is tied up in different financial products. So let's say you did buy gold online, right? there's absolutely no way to actually prove, well, there is through different regulations, but for you as a person, as a retail investor, there's very little ways of actually proving that the exchange you bought that gold ETF or that gold financial product from holds backing, they have a one-to-one backing with physical gold in their storage. But with Bitcoin, thanks to on-chain data, you can pretty much verify that. But even if you don't, you can withdraw it to your wallet, and at that point, it's yours. Like, it is literally yours. So that's the difference between buying gold online and buying Bitcoin online. Because one, you can verify its authenticity and it actually being there compared to gold, which it may not be. And I don't know, Davincij, if you heard of this, but I was doing some research, and apparently, so the GLD ETF from BlackRock, that's one of the SPDR, one of the most popular ETFs for gold. A lot of their gold is apparently stored in London, which may not even exist. So this is something that I stumbled across. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but
yeah. Why don't you bring up my screen here? 1 second here, so that this guy can learn something. This is. I want him to learn this, right? In this article here, right? If you could bring up my screen.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Sorry, I can.
I want to educate this gold guy, saying, okay, first off, right, gold. If you don't own it, hold it. You don't own it. Period. Right.
Exactly.
And if you don't believe that, right, this has happened more than once. And if you do research, right, it'll take you a while to find all the articles, right. But there's numerous of these, right. It took me forever to even find this one. Because I've talked about it throughout my career on YouTube. So if you go through some of my YouTube videos, I have the links and stuff like that in the description. But the key thing to remember here, right, is that this is here. I want to press Control-5. Standard industry practices, right, to tell you that you have gold or silver and not actually have it. Right? I know multi-millionaires have come to me saying, before the Bitcoin ETF, they got their banks to buy them Bitcoin. I said, yeah, they don't have any Bitcoin. What are you talking about? I just said, okay, fine. Have them show you your address. They can. Okay, have them transfer you the Bitcoin. They can. They said you can only take the cash.
Unbelievable.
What do you think that odds that this is a standard industry practice? They're running through the standard industry practice with Bitcoin. If your bank is actually buying it for you directly, very high, very, very high. So because it's standard industry practice, so I'm not doing anything wrong, but promising you that I have the gold or I have the Bitcoins. It's not illegal, even though I don't understand why I'm getting sued. This is standard industry practice.
And remember, if the value of Bitcoin rises exponentially, similar to mortgage-backed securities in 2007, right, where let's say the puts that you buy for the housing market in 2008 or 2007, as those began to increase in value, as the entire financial system began to collapse, the banks, if you've watched the movie, they go to Michael Burry and they go to Mark Baum and they say, look, let's buy these swaps off of you, because they know that, hold on a second, they know that the system is going to collapse and these bonds are going to go so high in value that they're not going to be able to repay the investors. So, I think it's a similar situation here. And if Bitcoin's value does go exponentially high, you want to make sure that you actually own that Bitcoin and then it's not stuck on a bank or an exchange.
Exactly. So I was just trying to do a copy and paste here. Let's copy. And then let's just put in standard industry practice.
And in the meantime, while you do that, what's so revolutionary now with the Bitcoin ETF, specifically Bitwise, what they've done is they've publicized their Bitcoin address. So investors can verify that they hold the Bitcoin that they're backing their ETFs with. And that's revolutionary because that's the first time in the entire traditional financial sector that someone's actually verifying the assets publicly. And I think this is going to revolutionize, or maybe not, because that gets rid of corruption. And because it does get rid of corruption, probably they won't do it. But for the first time ever, we can actually see, okay, these Bitcoin ETF issuers, they actually hold the Bitcoin they say they're holding.
Yeah, super interesting thing as well. One, they now over collateralize because as soon as they release the
people start sending
people are
Bitcoin
sending
to
money. And two, the second interesting part is I will talk to Matt Hogan, which is the CIO of Bitwise, and I have so many questions for him. So it's going to be a good one.
It's going to be amazing.
So just so you know, they make it very difficult for you to find that, right? To find that information, because hey, the banks don't want you to know that that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So they make it very difficult. Now, it is possible to find it, right? You're probably going to have to use other search engines. You're going to have to do a lot of work to find out the truth about, how they hold your gold and silver. But it is out there. It's just they've made it very, very difficult at this point in time to find it. I've noticed a lot of things disappearing. Like, for example, a famous quote from Hitler: "Gold in the hands of the people is the enemy of state." That quote just automatically has disappeared, right, from the internet. Like, everywhere. It used to be very widespread, like 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. And now I can barely find that quote. It's so weird how things are disappearing from the internet, that our history is being rewritten slowly by the powers that be.
Yeah, indeed. And by the way, we have, guys, over 4,200 people watching on Twitter. This is incredible. Thank you so much.
Dude, you're famous on Twitter. Nice.
Yeah, look, 5,000 people overall, and 4,200 people are on Twitter. Incredible.
Amazing. Thank you guys for coming out, man. I appreciate you. Oh, shoot, I closed down the wrong window, but that's okay. But yeah, we're ready for our blast off with Bitcoin. It's kind of scary, though, to be up all the way up here when you look at this with the Bollinger Bands on the weekly, and we're like already outside the band and away from the 13 MA.
Yeah,
so far away from the EMAs. It's a little bit stomach wrenching to be along here.
I spoke with John Bollinger, by the way, 2 weeks ago, and this was 2 weeks ago. He said that it's standard. Bitcoin's going above the upper Bollinger Band. We should have more time to go up. But now, of course, this was 2 weeks ago. Perhaps we see a test to the upper band. Perhaps. What do you think, Davincij?
Well, we're already outside the upper band.
Exactly.
Right? In this video, in this picture here. Whoops. So we're inside that upper band and outside the upper band. And look at that. The weekly is actually outside the upper band.
It's crazy.
And it's going to close out inside the band, which is absolutely redonkulous.
Yeah, it is. For me, the mind-blogging thing is, we've never gone over the all-time high before the halving. This is crazy.
It's so premature in the cycle.
And I am trying to be as conservative as I can, but I wake up every day more bullish, thinking I need more Bitcoin.
That's usually a bad sign as well. But personally, I think that now it's different. Like we mentioned, we have actual inflows coming in. I'm not too experienced in the TradeFi space, so maybe, Mr. M, a good question to ask Matt is going to be, okay, hold on a second. Will we see outflows from IBIT and FBTC, and 100%. Why would that happen, right? So,
and who's selling? Retail investors, who's buying as well?
Actually, I checked this data, and it looks like most of the investors that are going into the Bitcoin ETFs, they have trades that are either 1 million and above or $10 million and above.
Oh, wow.
So it's not retail yet that is buying, but keep in mind the ETFs still don't have options contracts on them. And options contracts not being there, and IBIT still outperforming the SPY and QQQ on the ETFs leaderboard is mind-blowing. This means that hedge funds are still not hedging themselves using the Bitcoin options contracts. Then we don't have wirehouses or Roth IRAs or pension funds. Recently, we saw the Arizona pension fund going in. But there's just still billions and billions of dollars worth of capital that is yet to come in. And if we look at the overall performance of IBIT and FBTC, I think they're around double their initial start price. So clearly, Wall Street likes this. They're making money. All Wall Street cares about is making money. And that's why, if we link it to a side topic, because they're making money, they may be lobbying the SEC to push the approval of the Ethereum ETFs too. Now there's a debate. I don't know if you saw Davincij, but there's a debate between the CFTC and the SEC to declare whether, is Ethereum a commodity or a security? And the CFTC chair is heavily implying that Ethereum is a commodity. I personally don't think so. But if that happens, then even Ethereum could have a huge run.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, that would be nice. I'm really see that this is like ridiculous right now where we're at, but the amount of money coming in, it's just
Incredible.
unprecedented. I don't know which way to go, but here's the bottom line of this. Right now, if you were to buy right now, and you want to know, should I buy right now? You'll be okay. Even if we did a 20% drop, you'll be okay. Because it's going to come back heavy and hard. If it did a 20% drop, just like we saw earlier, right? If we go down to the daily, let me just go to the daily, right? You can see this big, if we get this big candle down, and we come all the way down to the, I don't know, maybe even to 50K, right? It's just going to get eaten back up.
I think the most important thing is, like, I remember back in summer last year, I brought Davincij and Carl in the video when Bitcoin dropped from 31 to 27K. And I was like, oh, doomsday is here, Bitcoin. Oh no, what's happening? And then Davinci's like, dude, Bitcoin does this. Don't worry about it. And it's something that you get used to and you learn from experience by being more into Bitcoin. So the important thing to remember is, even if Bitcoin does have that 20-25% correction, you're probably going to see the entire sentiment on media chain saying, oh, Bitcoin is going back down to 40K now, then down to 30K. And the moment you see that, you kind of got to switch your mind off, go unagi, and accumulate if you believe in Bitcoin in the long term. Because, right, when is the best time to buy an asset? When there's fear. When is the best time to sell? When there's greed. You can't time those two perfectly, but you can kind of understand the change in sentiment. And if you believe in Bitcoin in the long term, if you believe in its mission, if you believe how it can change lives, which is something, again, that we can go through later on in the stream, then it's nothing different to an investment. Michael Saylor said it perfectly, right? So he said that in Madeira, in the conference he was in Madeira, you start off in Bitcoin as being a complete skeptic. You don't believe it. You're in complete denial. You're saying, oh, Bitcoin, terrible, worthless, internet money. And then you become a skeptic. You're saying, even if this thing was true, the banks could just shut it down. And then after being a skeptic, you kind of start to have some belief in yourself, and you start to trade it. You're like, okay, you know what? You can make money from this thing. I can buy it here and then sell it here. This is going to be the top. This is going to be the bottom. And after being a trader and still staying in the space, you realize that, okay, Bitcoin is not something to be traded, but to invest and allocate my money in the long term, because maybe it's not for me, but for my kids. Right? Because if, economies go down and there's hyperinflation continuing to increase, then Bitcoin's going to save me from that. And after you become an investor, then you become a Bitcoin maxi, and then there's no going back.
And for those who come out and say, well, what happens if there's a solar flare or there's a, an asteroid hitting the planet, or
then Bitcoin's the last thing to worry about.
That's the whole point. You know what? Just like those are all possibilities, there's also a possibility that that somebody comes up with a way to break Bitcoin. And I have to say that's always a possibility.
Yeah, with quantum computing probably, right?
The probability. The probability is the same probability of a asteroid hitting the planet. It's possible. You just don't freaking bet on it. Right? You know what I mean?
It's like betting on the housing market, like housing bonds in 2007. How could the housing market go down? How could people not pay their mortgages? Am I right, Davincij? Like, how could that possibly happen?
Oh, damn.
Exactly. And by the way, guys, thank you so much for. I have so many questions I collected in the chat. So keep asking questions. I'm saving them because there's
we'll
going to
do
be
a Q&A section.
There's going to be a Q&A segment. So please.
I think we should do the Q&A section. But before we do, I want to talk about medieval empires here.
Oh boy.
This is. I've been playing this game since we came out.
Have you been playing this game, or has someone been playing it for you?
I've had my driver playing with me.
Oh my God! With you? Okay, all right.
Okay. Let's play the game right now. If I don't know how to play, if you really think I don't know how to play,
no, I think you do, because it's not a hard thing to do. It's not a hard thing to play the game. I'm just saying you're not playing it.
I am playing it, dog.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm jumping in, and I'm gonna show you right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Show me your driver's progress in the game. Sure.
Is the driver connected now? He's sharing the screen. Is that your driver sharing screen?
Wow.
Yeah, guys. In fact, this is a hologram of Da Vinci. Da Vinci's not even there. So
Deep fake.
deep fake.
You like my $1 million, $2 million in coins.
Oh,
right?
okay. And Da Vinci, how did you buy that silver?
Wow.
Oh yeah, I did buy it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
Okay, but here, right? I have my lands, right?
Uh-huh.
Lots of income coming
Oh,
in. From
nice.
taxation.
Passive income.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm doing very well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take this, get my bonuses, right? I'm playing this. I played this morning. I'm not somebody else,
Okay.
just me.
You know what? Unlike Da Vinci, I actually do play this game, and I'll tell you, it is incredibly addictive. Like, once you start playing, and the cool thing is, this game is still in beta. Like, the game is not even out in its fully functionalities. And regardless, it's an addicting game to play, and that's why I'm personally bullish on medieval empires. Like, I'm bullish on anything that actually has a product, actually has real utility for its token, and clearly I think medieval empires personally has that, and it's very rare for something to do so. And coming up towards the altcoin season that could be happening very soon in the upcoming month or two, I think medieval empires will do very well.
Exactly. Because here's the thing, right? If you look at the market cap of medieval empires, it's like what, 9 million? And you look at the market cap of like a meme coin like Shiba Inu or what's the other one? The frog one, Pepe.
Ah, Pepe, yeah.
No
Nothing.
utility.
No utility
Same
whatsoever.
with Dogecoin. None. Zero.
Yeah.
Right? So if you want a big alpha, right, of something that's useful, right? Then
Yeah.
you have me token to buy.
Mm-hmm.
And so and you have like big names behind it, right? Ingen Alton, right? The actor.
Yeah, so Engin
Right.
Altan, for those of you that don't know, I mean, the thing that really makes me bullish for this game is its target audience. So his show, which is based off of the game, or the game is based off of the show actually, called Ertuğrul, right? Diriliş Ertuğrul. It's a Turkish show, but in the Muslim world, the show has been watched religiously. For example, in Pakistan, Engin is more famous in Pakistan than compared to Turkey. It's so funny. Like anyone I meet who's Pakistani, they're like, bro, I mean, your show in Turkey, it's mind-blowing. Everybody's watching it. So I think the target audience they have, there's millions and millions of people worldwide that cannot wait to play this game. And that's why I think it's a game that's going to be very successful. And unlike other games where you need to pay first to be able to actually play, Medieval Empires breaks that barrier right now, especially if you have a friend that has land already, such as Da Vinci. I'm sure Da Vinci has some land to allocate to his audience. And all of these things makes me super bullish. In GameFi, for example, there is approximately 3.3 billion gamers across the world. And we talked about this with Mr. M on a panel a couple of weeks back. 3.3 billion gamers. I think GameFi presents the opportunity to onboard traditional people in the Web 2 world to blockchain and Web 3. And I think GameFi is going to be the thing that brings the next billion users into crypto. And that's why I'm super bullish.
Exactly. And this is a game that you don't have to, it's going to be mobile, and you don't have to spend, you can spend like as low as like 10, 15 minutes on it per day. Or if you want to go full bore, you can go all day long on this, right? So it's totally up to you how long you want to play. But either way, you'll still do well in this game and make some money, because once it becomes play to earn, right? It's your 10, 15 minutes is not just gone towards entertainment alone. It's actually entertainment and payment as well. So there you go.
Yeah, and you start playing now, which you can do so by either joining your friend's land or buying Me Token to buy your own land. Then you'll basically be ahead of everybody else. And once the game does get saturated, then probably the earnings may decrease too. This is what I'm personally like looking at. But if you start playing now, then potentially you could be very early compared to everyone else.
Yeah, you know what's also interesting? We've started a challenge which is 1,000 to 1 million, and the first token we've chosen was me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Perfect. Okay, well, let's get on to the questions.
Yeah, sure.
But we didn't go through the news yet.
Oh,
Yeah,
we didn't go through your news.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
Wow.
How-
It's been like 50 minutes.
How long
Yeah.
do you have Davincij? Do you have another 5 minutes? How long?
Yeah, I got lots of time.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
cool.
Okay.
So let me share my screen very quickly.
Give me 1 sec. I have to push some buttons.
But see, it's been a nice show. You should, I think, guys, let me know, let us know in the comment section. Should Davincij have me on more often?
Yeah.
But yeah, let me go through some of the stuff I have. It's not too much. I'm not going to bore you. But this is the first thing. So Bill Ackman, and this kind of went viral on Twitter. He is a famous hedge fund manager. He controls $18 billion worth of capital. And he tweeted this yesterday. So he says, a scenario. Bitcoin price leads to increased mining and greater energy use, driving up the cost of energy, causing inflation to rise and the dollar to decline, driving demand for Bitcoin and increased mining. Driving demand for energy, and the cycle continues. Bitcoin goes to infinity, energy prices skyrocket, and the economy collapses. Maybe I should buy some Bitcoin. What do you think about this, Davincij?
Well, first off, miners are energy sensitive. They don't want to lose wealth by paying for energy. So they find innovative ways to either use energy that's already existing, that's being used anyway. So for example, oh, I've got a bathhouse. I've got to heat this bathhouse. How am I going to heat this bathhouse? Oh, wait a minute. I can heat it with my miners, right? And then it gets heated because I'm going to spend the money anyways to heat it. And then I get Bitcoin for free.
Unbelievable.
I like that idea, right? You know what I mean? Or, did they get energy from geothermal?
Exactly.
Right?
Biomass, volcanic mining, nuclear power. There's so much energy that's wasted, and this could be put into Bitcoin for free passive income.
Exactly. So this is why energy is, here's the thing. Here's the reality of energy. It's everywhere. So for example, when you think about the sun, how much energy that outputs, right? You're saying that most of it is wasted. Only a small percentage goes to our planet.
Exactly.
Do you think our planet the sun should go out because, hey, wait a minute, it's wasting so much energy? Like, screw off.
And
right?
dude, like you can even look at it in this way. Like, I'm just gonna be careful with what I say because I don't want this channel to disappear from YouTube. But there's something called free energy, right? So energy is basically free anyways, regardless. It's just controlled by different companies. And even if you look at one atom, right? So if you zoom into this piece of air that's in between my fingers, you zoom in and you have two atoms put together. The collision of these two atoms themselves will give you enough energy to probably supply an entire city for months. Like, energy exists all around us. The heat that I produce as a human, that's energy. Like, everything that you look around you is energy that is not utilized, that we cannot utilize, unfortunately, because of certain, rewritten history and companies that do not allow us to do that. But, energy is free anyways. So if we look at this argument, I don't think it makes sense too much. But free energy exists, and the day that we discover that as humans, I think we'll be in a different cycle for all of us.
And then if you think about it from a bank perspective, how much energy does a bank consume? How much energy to print money? How much energy to run the decent, exactly. So all those centralized evil people, how much energy are they using?
And look, this is what Satoshi Nakamoto himself said. So this is from one of his emails that I think he had with Craig Wright, which he released in court between the case. So he says this: ironic if we end up having to choose between economic liberty and conservation. Unfortunately, proof of work is the only solution I've found to make P2P eCash work without a trusted third party. Even if I wasn't using it secondarily as a way to allocate the initial distribution of currency, proof of work is fundamental to coordinate the network and preventing double spend. If it did grow to consume significant energy, I think it would still be less wasteful than the labor and resource intensive conventional banking activity it would replace. The cost would be an order of magnitude less than the billions in banking fees that pay for all those brick and mortar buildings, skyscrapers, and junk mail credit card offers. Satoshi. And it's super, super well said here. Imagine all of the ATMs running across the world. Imagine all the electricity powering up banks, people commuting to work, and the energy that they use. And Bitcoin merely uses miners across the world. That's the only energy it needs. So I think if you compare it to, yeah, Davincij, please go ahead.
I agree. The problem with the issue with proof of work, people think of it as a proof all for ensuring the blockchain. Yes, that's one aspect of ensuring the blockchain, but another aspect that needs to be combined with proof of work in order for make that work is that there can't be any hard forks. And here's why. For example, on your phone, how many people enable auto updates on their phone?
I do.
Do you automatically update your phone?
Yes.
Do you automatically update your MetaMask?
Well, I don't know what they do in the background.
Yeah, the MetaMask automatically updates. And at any point in time, the government could go to the company, the MetaMask company, go, give me all that money. And here's how you do it. You go and put in this bug and push it out. And that's it. Boom, everybody's gone. Everybody's wealth is gone. So this is why you need to have a fixed system where it's like, okay, this is the protocol. I'm not changing it. There is no updates. Sorry. This is how it works. That must be combined with proof of work. And so a lot of people who are Caspa fans out there who think it's, oh yeah, Caspa solves the trilemma. No, it doesn't, buddy. It doesn't, because there's constant hard forks. If they keep the protocol fixed, right, or one day it gets to a point where, oh, this is perfect, and then somebody takes it, and then, okay, this is how I'm gonna run it like that and never change it, then we have something that's secure with proof of work. Without those two factors, both no forks and proof of work, you don't have a secure system, because as long as there's someone to point a gun to, the system is not secure. Good luck on finding somebody to point a gun to for Bitcoin. Who do you point a gun to change the software?
Only like the miners. Is it the core developers only that can change it, or okay?
Yeah, that's true. But here's the thing: the way it's set up, right, is that people just don't go, oh, well, I'll just upgrade. No, it doesn't work that way, right? The nodes go, yeah, I'm looking at this code and I'm not liking what I see here. I'm not updating, right? That's the standardized process of Bitcoin, and you don't have to upgrade. You can keep the node running as is. So, for example, you could put it in a satellite, right? And the node will run forever.
Wow. And it'll be on that version of Bitcoin. So there's different versions of Bitcoin?
So whilst you could have different versions, for example, where there's a soft fork for mining processes, right? You can have additional versions, for example, different, even different encryption, because it's by design. Part of the code base allows for the encryption to completely change, and your old node still works.
Wow.
So it's a beautiful system that way.
It's literally art.
So a lot of things can be changed by design that won't break the system.
Unbelievable.
Exactly, and I do believe there is a major difference in between energy is wasted versus energy is needed. So if I go into my living room and I leave the light on and I go into the kitchen, that's wasted, because I don't need to be in the kitchen while in the living room. But if the network has to be validated itself, it's not wasted, it's actually needed. Otherwise, it's proof of stake. So, okay, who has more stake controls the network, and we go back to the banking system, right? So it's not wasted, it's actually needed, because if we don't prove to work, then it's centralized. So again, people don't see it in a way that is like, it's not wasted, it's needed. You see what I mean? So that's how I like to see it.
Makes sense. And to me, I think if I understood correctly, Davincij, so like any change that is going to be made or implemented onto the Bitcoin network, this is publicly shown. All of the details are shared with the nodes, and then the nodes, the decentralized nodes that compose of thousands of people across the world, then they can decide if they want to go ahead or not. Whereas in the current monetary system, they just decide and implement. They don't ask you for what your thoughts are, and it's not public.
Exactly. So MetaMask doesn't ask you, hey, do you want to upgrade this software? If it did that, it'd make it better.
Yeah.
Because then you could say no half the time, because I would like to say no to half the updates on MetaMask, right? And so that I could protect myself from that eventuality.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's missing in some of our wallet software today. You should be asked completely, hey, listen, you know what? Do you want to update because there could be malware in this because of government pressure, right? And that could happen.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
It's funny you're saying this because I like Exodus as a wallet, and until I think it was 3 months ago, there was a pop-up saying we have a new version of the software. Would you like to upload it or update it? Sorry, and you say yes or no. Now it happens automatically.
Oh wow!
So which is convenient, right? But in conveniency, like Davincij is saying, you have the fact that you can choose. What if I don't want to update it? Maybe they have a preference because Exodus is quite open source-ish, not all of it, but most of it. So maybe there is in the settings something, but again, is enabled by default, which should be disabled by default. So I can go and say, I want to be downloaded, blah, blah, blah. So going to
I recommend everybody use a hardware wallet and do not update the firmware for months. The firmware, you have to wait and wait and wait until everybody else, some other person who might lose all their money to update the firmware. Make sure that happens first, right? And then you update, right? You don't do it right away because you don't have access to the source code. You're not looking at the source code. So the only way to really ensure that you're safe is to wait.
Is there an open source hardware wallet, Davincij?
Sorry?
Is there any open source hardware wallets?
Yes, Trezor is open source.
Trezor open source, yeah.
So wow, that's really incredible. It's the same with like Apple iOS updates. They always say do not update your iOS until other people do, and then let you know that maybe it's not a good update to do. So it makes a lot of sense. But I just have 2% left, so I want to run through these very quickly if that's okay with you guys, so my laptop doesn't die out.
Go for it, and then we do Q&A.
Exactly. So what we can see here is that Bitcoin reached an all-time high in 17 of the 20 G20 nations, which is unbelievable. This is one of the good use cases for Bitcoin in terms of its mining. So there's a differentiation between mainstream media. Forbes says that, actually Bitcoin mining can reduce methane in the air, which is 10% of the total carbon emissions or the greenhouse gas emissions. And that's 42 times or 43 times more potent than carbon dioxide in the short term. And Bitcoin mining can actually reduce this. So there's a very big mix of people saying, mining is good or mining is bad. But the end line, like we mentioned, is that Bitcoin conserves less energy than the entire banking system. Then continuing on, the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, which we know has been super bullish about Bitcoin these past couple of months leading up to his spot ETF launch conveniently, and he's doing some marketing there for it. But he said that if you're in a country where you're fearful of your future, fearful of your government, and you're frightened that your government is devaluing its currency by too much deficits, then you can say that this is a great potential long-term store of value, comparing Bitcoin to basically gold and a hedge against inflation. And that's basically a similar thing that happened with Egypt, and that's why Bitcoin, compared to the Egyptian pound, has been having a huge God candle of 150%. Funnily enough, Jim Cramer, who's been bearish on Bitcoin.
Yes, Cramer.
It's crazy. I think it's up like 100-something% since he said that Bitcoin is a scam or whatever he said. Funnily enough, he said this 15 years ago in the 2008 recession. He was basically saying that Bear Stearns, which was one of the banks that went down in the 2008 recession, he was saying that basically it's a good investment. And well, there you go. Inverse Cramer still tends to be something that's super profitable in the space, not just in crypto, but it looks like in the entire economic space overall. We can see that in the United States, poultry goods, so actually like meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, they're up 20% in terms of inflation, if I'm not wrong. And this is showing that even though that the stock market is pumping, the stock market is pumping because of high inflation. And alongside the $34.4 trillion in national debt, the statistics don't really look for the US economy. And that's why a recession was expected going into this year and actually the past year. That didn't happen. But we may experience it very soon. And at that point in time, again, Bitcoin could have the God candle that we were talking about. Looks like the interest is back according to different website traffic such as CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko that are up 66% in terms of retail-driven traffic. So that's a very, very good sign. I'll leave this for the next show. We can see here that financial stress continues dropping well below long-run average, even as regional banks such as the NYCB that went down the past week, but then it got bought up again, are clearly under pressure and some clearly at risk of failure. But hey, why stress when everybody gets bailed out? And this is a very interesting point because, well, if even though that the banks collapsed last year, including SVB, First Republic Bank, and now NYCB, if the government's just going to continue bailing them out with new printed money, well, yeah, then nobody should worry. And this is what exactly happened in the 2008 financial crisis. The banks knew what they were doing was unsustainable, but they also knew that the government would bail them out anyways. So they weren't scared of the situation. And if we see something similar happen again, well, millions of people are going to become jobless. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of money. They're going to lose their homes potentially. And, well, Wall Street basically profits off of that. And this is what Bitcoin solves because Bitcoin gives you financial freedom. Nobody can do that with Bitcoin. And that's why Bitcoin, in my opinion, is here to stay. We can look at the miners. Miners hit an all-time high record in actual mining rewards, and that's incredible. That's fueled by ordinals as well. This is a bit concerning because that means coming up towards the halving, a lot of miners are going to be, well, now they're profitable, right? So it was predicted that 20% of the hash rate was going to decrease because of miner unprofitability. But thanks to the ordinals, I think this is good for Bitcoin, and it's going to incentivize them to not sell. But this does have a flip side to it. Now that they're making more profits, they could be selling at a higher basis too. But let's see about that. This was talking about Coinbase. Again, I'll leave this for the next show. There's just so many of these things that we can go into for hours, but unfortunately, I don't have too much battery, so I'm going to have to save it for later. one Bitcoin equals 1 kg of gold. Incredible data.
Wow.
And that's really, really mind-blowing. And if you ever wondered why Bitcoin is such an important invention in the history of mankind, well, what it solves in the traditional aspect is that, look, if you let's say I were to go to Apple and buy a $1,000 iPhone, if I bought it with my MasterCard or Visa card, it's going to take 1 to 3 business days for the money to transfer from my account to the merchant's account, there being Apple's account. And on top of this, the POS machine, the point of sale machine, is going to take between 1.5 to 3.5% of the overall transaction, therefore reducing the transaction in the country itself. And if we look at the formula for GDP, one of the formulas are velocity of money transactions, and there's a couple of other variables. But if you reduce the flow of money by reducing its speed like the traditional financial system is doing, you're actually decreasing GDP of a country, therefore reducing economic growth. Bitcoin solves that because with Bitcoin, transactions only take 10 minutes long, and regardless of the overall purchase amount, you're only going to be paying like a standard fee, which can range between, well, now it's like $1, but at peak traffic, maybe it can go to $40. But still, it will increase GDP across countries, and therefore also, there goes the laptop. But I try to go through as much as possible there. One last thing that I wanted to mention is that we had the unemployment data released last week, Davincij, and it showed that ever since like the 1950s, the unemployment has never been kept below under 4% for such a long amount of time. But it was funny because they said 270,000 new jobs were released into the market. But if you go deeper into the data, you see that 184,000 of that 270,000 jobs are actually people taking double shifts. So they have two jobs instead of one. And why would people need to take on 2 jobs instead of 1? Well, it's because they cannot sustain their lives with one single job. And that's showing that things are getting too expensive. It's not sustainable to live. And the economy overall, I don't think is doing too great. And this to me is signaling a huge recession, and at which point Bitcoin would rally significantly. So that's my takes on the overall market. And yeah, that's all I got to share.
Yeah, don't forget the birth-death model of that goes into the unemployment data. So basically, they make up jobs that's what the birth-death model is. They make up jobs that they say that, oh, jobs have occurred that we're not aware of, so we're going to estimate what they are.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I gave, it's crazy. I gave a presentation on this in economics class. So my economics teacher doesn't really like me too much because, I go into why the Federal Reserve is a scam and whatever. So he calls me a conspiracy theorist.
That's a good thing, though. If he doesn't like you, it's a good sign, right?
Yeah, it's a good sign. So he was asking us to do a presentation on unemployment. And I said, okay, sure. And I went on to describe how the unemployment system is a scam or how it's measured as a scam. So I did some deep diving research. And what I found out is what the government does to measure this, at least in the United States, they send out teams to go and survey households across America. And in 1 year, they survey 1.2 million Americans. Now, there is, 330 million Americans in the United States. So how do you go to every single individual household? Of course, there's 160 million people estimated to be working. So if you reduce that number, how do you go to each and every household in the US and actually survey them if they need help with, sustaining themselves, if they need any packages, or if they're looking for actively seeking employment, or if they're able to be employed? You can't do it. So what they do is they go to 1.2 million saying that, okay, this is a good representation of everyone. But the truth is it's not, because there's so many places in the US or in countries overall where there's no access to internet. Some places it's too dangerous to access, and you cannot get a fair representation. So they bump up these numbers based on the data they have and give you a lie. And the economies work on this, which I don't understand.
Yeah, and isn't it the president always gets elected based on the economy, and so it is in their best interest for governments to might pressure their people working to put together these statistics to change the number, to massage it somehow to make it look better, because it makes them look better. So don't be surprised if in the future we find out, not only was it they went to this was unfair sampling, but also they would throw out samples that didn't meet their objectives, right? So, for example, if they got too many people unemployed, they threw out those numbers to get and replaced it with a percentage of another section of group that got more employment than the section that didn't.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if that's happening, but if that happens, if we hear about that happening after the fact, it's like no surprise to me. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. It would be obvious at this point, because you know what, the people who are collecting the data benefit from the data being positive. So it just makes sense that they would do something like that, right?
Exactly. No, you're completely right. But I think we should switch into the Q&A because it's been a while.
Let's go. We have some. Okay, first of all, we have a super chat. So let me put it on screen from Kay, and they is asking, what do you guys think of the effect of the BTFP ending tomorrow for the crypto market? Bullish or bearish?
What is that?
The BTFP.
Could you maybe elaborate in the chat, and then we'll get back to you?
Let us know exactly. Let us know in the chat, and we can look into it. Okay, let me switch on the normal ones. Okay, so let's see. Davincij, can quantum computing break Satoshi wallet? ?
No, because two reasons. The public key, the way Bitcoin works is that it stores your public key inside what's called a hash. A hash is a one-way encryption, meaning that you can only go one way. You can't go the other way. You can't take the data that's resulting and come up with the actual encrypted value. There's no way to do that, right? Whilst you can take you can actually encrypt data and make it two-way, meaning that with a specific key, you can take that encrypted data and reverse it to the data that was actually being sent to you, right? But hashing is not like that. It's only giving you a result that's useless. You're like, well, why do I need that for? The result is useless. Well, not quite. The result is unique to the data, the original data. So you could actually take the original data, put it through the hash, and get the same number. So this way you know that you have the original data because you got the same number every single time.
Makes sense.
You hashed it, right? So in order for you to know that, hey, you have the actual public key, you have to provide the public key and hash it, right, to the address. Now, not only do you have to give the hash to the address, you have to actually use a signature and sign it with that public key to the next person, because technically you could have more than one public key match with that hash. Right?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But only one public key can actually sign the data and move it over to another person.
And the thing is,
So-
right, if like quantum computing can break into your Bitcoin wallet, that means they can break into your phone, they can break
That
into
would
your
be
bank
that'd be
account.
my point.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
That-
So the only thing that quantum computer can do against Bitcoin is break proof of work, right? Because proof of work is just a guessing of the next hash that matches all the transactions that passed, that occurred. And because that works differently than encryption, it's not, it could come up with a method of guessing the next hash fast. But even if it did, right, the adjustment to the hashing protocol would adjust up for quantum computing. so it would make it harder for the quantum computer to guess it. So by design, it's quantum proof.
Yeah, exactly. You literally read my mind. I was about to say, guys, the Bitcoin network is the most secure and safe network on the planet. If they can break it, well, it's doomsday. Everything is burning.
Everything
your
is
bank is
down.
gone.
the internet is down.
Your identity is gone. We are basically.
Yeah, then it's over. Then it's game over.
Exactly.
But the super chat guy, I think he elaborated on what the BFTP is.
Let me go back and find it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just favorite.
So he said that the BFTP or the BTFP is the Bank Term Funding Program. It's a new Federal Reserve program established in March 2023 to provide additional funding to eligible depository institutions. It is expected to end this month.
Yeah. Okay. And we have another super chat.
Wow. So bank term funding program.
We should look into that.
I never heard of it. It's probably provide additional funding to eligible depository. Okay, so I'm assuming that because with the money that you deposit in a bank doesn't belong to you, the banks get to spend it wherever they want, and so let's just say they've spent it on investments that are illiquid, and they can't sell that asset to give you the cash back. This is some sort of program that allows them to
Get bailed out.
pass that illiquid asset to the Federal Reserve and hold it for some time so that they can get cash so you could deposit, so you can take your withdrawal. Okay. So I'm assuming that's the case, but that would be, the problem is, right, wouldn't that be the same as back in March of 2019, they opened up the LIBOR, the interbanking lending rate, because they overnight sweeps. Do you know what overnight sweeps are? Probably not. Okay. So
I am 16.
Okay, basically in the 90s, before, we had a 10-to-1 bank reserve ratio, right? Do you remember that, right? So every dollar that deposited in the bank, right, you had to put 10% in cash, leave 10% in cash at the Federal Reserve.
Okay.
And you could spend 90%.
Makes
right?
sense. Okay.
And so that's how it worked, right? So, or you could borrow up to, so if you had somebody deposited the dollar, you can lend up to nine times that, right?
So this was until March 2019.
No. I'm talking starting how the story, how did we get to this point?
Okay.
I'm just going from how do we get to the point.
Okay.
So it started with 10% reserve, right? And then Greenspan came up with overnight sweeps, where basically banks can, during the day, they had to do the 10-to-1 ratio, right? But at night, they could go unlimited ratio. And so what they would do is before the banks would close, is that they would sell their assets overnight, their debt assets overnight, so they could get down to the ratio, down to the ratio overnight to someone else, and then promise to buy it back afterwards at a small interest rate.
But that's crazy. So they're gambling with your money, basically.
Right? So, yeah, that's true. But it basically allows them to go over leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do, right? They can over leverage above the 10 to 1, right?
Okay.
And so then what would happen is back in 2019, I mean, it happened in 2008 too, but in 2019, they started, no banks were lending to other banks
Mm-hmm.
for the overnight sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
So then they came up with a program to allow banks to take money from the Fed and borrow money from the Fed overnight, and that expanded up to it was almost $500 billion before they realized, this is not going to work. So we're gonna have no reserve requirements, zero required reserves. So now today we don't have any reserve requirements, meaning the banks can lend as much money as they want.
Yeah.
Right? And there's no reserves, right? Zero reserves. So with zero reserves, right, there's still now a chance that, now they have no money and you want to withdraw.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Exactly.
So now they created a program because they have zero reserves, no cash.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
It feels like we live in a simulation, man, at this point.
It is. Davincij, how many questions do we have? Loads in the chat. How many?
We got time.
How many do you want to get? Do you want some likes before we go, like we did last time? I think it was clever.
Let's get some likes happening. How many likes are we at right now?
396. Yeah.
Jesus, guys. Okay, we're not up to 700 likes.
Wow.
700 people in 10 minutes. I'm gone. 700 likes. That's
700. That's
the
target.
If you're watching on any other channel, head over to YouTube and hit the like there quickly.
Yeah, we have
wherever you are, there's 7,000. You get there right now. The YouTube and hit it up to 700. Else we're gone. All right. So next question.
We have over 6,000 people on Twitter. So on X.
Wow.
It would be great to have some of you on YouTube and helping us with the likes. Okay, so we have loads, by the way. So I will go around them. Okay, this one is quick. Davincij, do you have Instagram?
Yes, I do have Instagram. If you head over to @Davincij15, my Instagram is there, and it's growing very fast. Thank you guys for following me on Instagram. Appreciate it.
Amazing. Then this one is interesting. So who's the new guy? I guess it could be either of us. So
we have Mr. M and Crypto Kid, right? The Crypto Kid's got a nice channel. Head over to his channel, Crypto Kid, on YouTube.
Everywhere.
Why don't we bring up the link here? Let me bring it up.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Amazing.
I will bring it up.
You know what's crazy? I was just like anyone in the live stream chat a couple of years ago, watching Davincij, admiring him, and now I'm on his stream. So I just want to say how thankful I am and how grateful I feel, and I have incredible people teaching me. So thank you so much, Davincij and Mr. M.
No, you're kidding. Yeah. Davincij is an absolute legend.
You're welcome, man. I'm glad to be here. Okay, wait a second. I forgot. I've got it on the wrong screen. Here.
Yeah, give me okay, there you go. I'll do it now.
Right
yeah,
here.
Perfect.
And I will add this to.
You're not subscribed. What?
Oh snap! No,
it was on purpose to show people how to do it.
No, hold on. This is not my normal account, though. Here's the thing.
Okay, that's fine.
You see this? This is not my normal account.
Okay, all right.
This is not my normal account. So let's take a look at my normal account right here. Let's see if I subscribe
I thought you were doing it to show to people how to subscribe.
That's a good excuse.
Exactly.
See, guys, that's how you do it.
On my regular account, I am subscribed.
Oh, okay. Then you're forgiven, Davincij.
There's my regular account.
Okay, I wonder. Do you think Davincij is subscribed to my channel?
I don't know. Should we check? Davinci's lagging. Guys, I lost.
My channel too. You want me to do that too?
That'd be nice. That would actually be nice, man. Thank you. Thank you for that kind offer.
Amazing. Okay, so hopefully the new guy is being answered. This probably referring to you. Okay, so there is another one. Okay, this one. Hey, Davincij, which altcoin is going to bump next, like Bitcoin?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Okay, Bitcoin. If you're saying Bitcoin in the sense in the long term, right? That's the long term, because anything else is very short term, like a stock. You could say that, okay, well, Apple stock did very well, but Apple's not going to be here forever. Same with GE is not around anymore, right? But it was the biggest name for 100 years, right?
Yeah, Blockbuster isn't, for example.
Yeah.
And same with Kodak.
Kodak,
right?
yeah. I was about to say film.
So again, these things are not going to be around for a very, very beyond your lifetime, basically. Most of these cryptocurrencies. So if you're talking about something beyond your lifetime, in a sense, I would say Ethereum would be the next one to buy. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, if you have missed the ETF train, the next hype will be Ethereum. Yes, maybe is.
I think that's also a bit
priced in.
Yeah, I think so.
But I think Ethereum is going to do better than Bitcoin in this cycle. I mean, historically speaking, has always done better, right, in terms of returns.
Of course.
And then, of course, if you want to do huge, you have to go down in the micro caps in the list. If you are buying any coin, that's my opinion, not financial advice. But if you are purchasing any coins in the top 50, you're not going to do 100x.
Yeah.
It's already happened, right? It's already happened.
Exactly, and the coin that will do has a possibility of going 100x. If you bring up my screen again, it's the Me token, because I mean, why it has a probability of going to 100x is because it's got 9 million market cap. So effectively, if it were to go to any of these top, like let's just go Shiba Inu, right? With look at its market cap here.
Sorry, Davincij, there's a sound that's coming in. I don't know.
And it's hurting our ears.
Is that something happening? Are you safe?
Jesus. But if we do something that has zero, it's the washing machine.
Dude, is your building on fire?
Yeah, no, exactly. It sounded like a fire. I was like, are you safe? Davincij, is the fire?
Yeah. I need to get Alex to check down that washing machine. But anyways, yeah. So it is. It is right now $3.5 billion for what? For what?
Wow.
Pepe, that's Pepe, right?
Yeah, this is Pepe.
Yeah.
What value does this provide for anyone except fun? And the fact
Exactly.
That, yeah, you know what? This thing is so cheap. I can get so many of them, and I can wish it goes to $1. I can hope it goes to $1. It's just not.
Yeah.
So don't even go there.
Yeah, we made a video about it. It's all about market cap. It's not going to $1.
Exactly.
The amount of money. I've seen some people in the chat commenting saying Cardano to $300. Guys, it's not going to happen. Like I like Cardano, but it's not going to happen. The amount of money needed to take or XRP to $500. Guys, it's not going to happen. You need so much capital.
Yeah.
Or they have to burn so much of it. It's not gonna.
It's not sustainable.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, okay, cool. Thank you. We have so many super chats now. Okay, so from Asib, I guess, I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. He's asking any prediction for Shiba short term.
Predictions for Shiba short term. Well, Shiba still has probably a little bit more space to run. And sorry, I was just trying to call Alex, see if she can go turn off the washing machine. But Shiba, let's bring that quick chart here, right, of Shiba here.
To be honest, we were more worried than anything because it sounded like a fire alarm.
Yeah.
So like you see, Davincij is about to go on fire. So if washing machine is fine, no worries.
Yeah, it's just
As long as you're safe. Yeah. By the way, we've seen a pump on meme coin,
Shiba
guys.
Yeah, right.
broke down right here, and I expected this, right? Because
Ooh,
we're
bonds
still
are been squeezing.
consolidating here before we launch again, and there may not be a launch, so please be careful of this. But this is working out to be, you know, a pennant, right? Which generally in a bullish market, and we're still in the bullish situation, which could turn into a breakout, additional breakout. So that, but that's there's no guarantees of that with Shiba. But odds are that's what we're going to do. We're probably going to double this whole situation, right? We're probably going to go all the way from here to, and like probably like maybe just only do a.
Oh, that is a big. That is a big target.
Yeah, I mean it's not huge.
It's actually fine.
Look how many zeros, by the way. Look at the number of zeros.
But I love Shiba, man. Shiba was the first big amount of money I made in crypto. And the reason why I bought it, funnily enough, was because I was like, dude, this looks so cheap. Maybe if this goes to $1, then I could make it. I mean, that was literally the same reasoning when I first started in crypto.
It's very common. It's very normal.
It's common because, I mean, it's normal. People don't understand how the economics of these tokens work.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
exactly. So because of the lack of understanding of economics behind that, or tokenomics, basically, you can see that the 61.8. This is a target for the 61.8 area.
oh, perfect.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we head up there, which is, you know, a doubling from here. So almost, and so not a surprise, but don't expect much more than that.
Makes sense. Okay, so how many you want to do, Davincij?
All right, let's just see, where are we with the likes?
Oh, we're not there.
527.
We aren't
Okay,
there.
we're going to do 2 more, and if we're not up to 700 likes, we're done. We have 2 more questions.
Okay, but this
Nice.
one is nice. Okay, this one is for you. Question, Davincij, if you only had $10,000, what meme coin would you invest in and why?
I hope you're not going to put all of that into a meme coin.
Yeah, my answer would be none. But I'm a meme coin virgin. I'm a meme coin virgin. So what would you say, Davincij, to this person?
I don't want to mention a meme coin that, but if you actually forced me to do one,
I've
know what you're gonna say.
heard of a new one. It's called Sats. Have you seen that new meme coin, Davincij?
yeah, that would be probably the best thing to do. But if you really want a meme coin, and I loathe to give this to you, loathe. Okay, so just so you know, I probably won't invest in this. I don't know. I might. Right? But because I'm only jumping on the train.
Brett.
I know.
Davincij.
I haven't even heard of this thing.
Bro,
What is
I
this?
didn't know that you were that shallow, man.
What is
Come
that thing?
on.
What is that?
I know.
Bro. No way.
What is Brent? I don't even know what it is. Never heard of it.
It's the
But
first
here's the
meme
thing.
coin on the.
People behind it and stuff like that. I don't even think this is the right one. This is the problem with this stupid meme coin.
Exactly.
It's not even the right one.
Yeah, so basically what Brett is, it's the first meme coin on the base chain, so people are speculating that it's going to do. But the thing is, it's just speculation with these meme coins, and that I hate, man.
But that's what you have to do. You know what? It doesn't matter about being right, about feeling like this is on Arbitrum. Like, this is such a horrible situation.
Yeah, people are going to lose money.
Can I say something controversial? It doesn't even matter working, because look at Solana. Sometimes it's online and yet it's pumping. But super centralized coin, I mean, it's not even, and yet people, and by the way, no hate on Solana. I have some in my portfolio anyway, but all I'm saying is you don't even have to work to make money, right?
But because it's the first meme coin on base chain, and you know, it's the people behind it are pretty big, right? I have to say fine.
Okay.
But we can't even find which one is real. That's a huge
I
problem.
know exactly. That's how sad it is.
Wow. Okay.
That's how sad this situation is.
Yeah.
right? So
I
you
don't
can't
think this
even
is
find the
real
one.
because this is on Solana, so that it can't be real.
This is not the real one.
Yeah,
I would micro Sailor up saying there is no second best, and
exactly.
Yeah.
each
And
meme
so
coin you buy
it's
is
really
not.
difficult to find now the Brett token. You know, you're taking a big chance, but at least it's low enough so that you can take the chance.
But be
And if you
careful.
really want to, but if you do lose all your money, don't blame me, because I told you I loathe to actually give you this, but that's what you want, and that's what I'm giving you. And so you know what? I might even invest in some of it because I know what I'm not going to. I'm not going to hate it. I'm not going to date it. I'm
Just
just
gonna
going to
trade it.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you know that's what you guys do, and why should I stop not profit from what you guys are doing, and it's wrong. It's probably wrong to do this, but I'm going to profit from it. Sorry.
Makes sense. I mean, no one is talking about long term anyway, right? Okay,
No.
so we have another super chat.
Last question. Last question. Let's make it nice.
Okay, last one. Last one. We have a super chat. So super chat have the priority. Thank you so much, guys, by the way, for commenting, for super chatting, for being here on a Sunday with us. It is incredible to have you all with us today. So this one from NJ Matrix, and it says, "Do you think ETH will fix high gas fees?" Question mark.
Well, for layer 2s, they're gonna do it, as they say, for the
Denkun. Yeah,
But I don't think
Denkun.
it's for the layer 1 itself.
No, layer 2. But apparently there is some ripple effect on. I'm not sure. I want to.
Yeah, this is the thing I hate about Ethereum, because it's so centralized. I mean, it can just be changed like that, you know. So
Yeah, but do you think, Davincij, what do you think about this? Do you think it will fix the high gas fees?
Yeah, I don't think there needs to be a fix for the gas fees, right? But if they want to do that, they can. That will be obviously only on the for the arbitrums and second layers and so forth. But here's the thing, right?
Hey,
Higher
Crypto Jack in the chat.
We're
Ah.
the same.
what's up,
Yeah, it's good to see you, buddy.
Who's that?
Hopefully,
Who's that?
Crypto Jack?
Crypto Jack in the chat.
Hey, Crypto Jack! Everybody loves Crypto Jack.
Yeah,
He's
I
such
love
a nice
Crypto
guy.
Jack.
He's a very nice guy.
I love Crypto Jack. Yeah, indeed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, Davincij. What you
So,
saying?
anyways, as I was saying, you know, there's a saying, right? Higher prices is a solution to higher prices. Do not allow any kind of government or central authority to say, well, we need to I'm going to have fixed prices for you. Because price fixing creates more problems than it solves. So, for example, when New York went underwater, and guys, you better hit the like button if you want to hit it up to 700 before I finish, or else
Guys,
you're not
please
gonna get
don't, so that we can leave.
It's almost 2 hours. Almost 2 hours. 1 hour and 43 minutes. Yeah.
So, as I was saying, you know, in New York, there was a flood, and then gas prices were, you know, $50 a gallon. And people were like, oh my God, you're price gouging. No, you're not, right? It was difficult to get gas, so you need to price gas so that the people who really, really need it are going to spend that money, and the people who don't, right, are not going to hoard the gasoline, right? And then sell it in the open market, under market, and the black market for a higher price. If you let the free market work, right, prices will fix itself, because now someone will come along and say, okay, well, great, I'm going to do something differently so that the prices come down. And that's how it works. Not in a sense of like some authority doing something, but in a group collective of people doing something to bring the prices down, so that they okay, well, for example, let's just say, for example, the ordinals, right? You know how ordinals have caused prices of gas to go higher. That's okay, because eventually I think that ordinals will just drop off, because who's going to want to trade an NFT or an asset that costs you so much to trade, right? It's just not going to happen, right? Unless that asset is worth a lot of money and you have a large sum of that asset, it's not worth trading. So, for example, let's just say if it's an NFT ordinal, you only have one. and that NFT is worth $50 or $5, right? And then your trade is $1.50. Well, are you going to make that trade when it costs you $1.50? That's a large percentage of your profits. No. So, and then the person receiving it, they're going to know that too, and so they're not going to want to
participate in the transaction.
use that money on the transaction. So this will bring down prices by people automatically, organically making choices freely to say, nah, I'm not going to do that. Or yeah, you know what? If prices go up, that means people want to do it, and that's okay too, right? Because price lets people do, the right people do it at the right time.
Fair enough.
That's it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, like, for example, I complain about the $400 bed that they have. There's a day bed here out on the beach, right? In order for you to lie on the beach on a day bed, which is $400.
What?
But they only have a certain amount. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Even for hotel guests?
They only have
Yeah,
20, they only have 21 million 21 million
But they only
beds.
have a certain number.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Beds, day beds out there, so they have to prioritize based on price.
And people pay it, I guess. That's why they have it.
Yeah, people do.
Wow.
And so that's that. So that's how they prioritize something, is based on price.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Nice.
But guys, I think it's time to dip.
Yeah, it's time to call it because we have done almost 2 hours.
Before we dip, right? Guys, if you are interested in talking to me, a lot of people are. They want to get a hold of me, and I can't talk to everybody. I'd like to, but I have to start, deciding who I speak to. And if you want to speak with me, you can go on calendar.davincij15.com. Links is in the description below, right? But you can actually purchase, right? I'm going to be raising the price of this because, a lot of people are buying up my calendar time. And yeah, so if you're interested in 20 minutes, right? And a 20-minute Zoom call with me, right? For any reason, right? One person just wanted to get to know how to use Bitcoin. So I helped them set up a wallet.
Imagine
even sent them $10 worth of Bitcoin.
Imagine having
to
a
show them
one-on-one tutoring with Davincij, like the
Wow.
guy that told people to buy Bitcoin at $1 and getting him to teach you how to set up a Bitcoin wallet. Like, that's the biggest flex ever. Like, come
Exactly. And
Exactly. So there you go. And that's for $250. Like, what the hell?
yeah,
And there I got $50 back.
Yeah, dude, that's a steal, bro. I think you should up that by like 10x.
yeah. Let's close
I
this
will be
stream.
upping that next month probably. So if you're interested, you can buy as much as you want. We can reschedule anytime, you guys. If the times are not working for you, you just have to ask us to reschedule it, and we will reschedule it for you at a convenient time. So there you go.
Nice. Davincij, before we go, will you beat Logan Paul?
Or Jake Paul.
Oh, Jake Paul, actually. Yeah, Jake. Tyson versus Jake.
I'm betting on Davincij.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
I don't
my
have my
mind.
Tyson tattoo anymore, so I don't think so. If I had the tattoo, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
But Davincij, you are an absolute legend. Thank you for having
Thank
us
you.
on your show.
Yeah, it's incredible, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a fun one. Wow, it's been a fun one.
2
a long
hours.
one.
Yeah,
Thank
2
you guys for hitting
hours.
the like,
God.
hit and subscribe. Make sure you head over to these guys' channels, Crypto Kid, right? Links in the description below. Also, Mr. M's podcast. Yes, make sure you subscribe to both these excellent gentlemen's channel.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And come back soon. We miss you in Dubai.
Yes, man. Come on. We got to do some
I'm
BBQ.
heading back soon. Cheers.
Fantastic.
cool.
Love you, man. Thank you guys for watching. See you on the next one.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.